Did you know that about 570,000 people die each year from illegally used drugs? Not only do drugs kill thousands of people a year, but also affects people's health, memory, decisions of your children, and your bank account. According to the University of Health Sciences, illegal drugs include such substances as opium, derivatives, hallucinogens, cocaine, amphetamines, ecstasy, ketamine, codeine, heroin, morphine, and other drugs prohibited by law. The UK Museum of Science says that a drug is any chemical you take that affects the way your body works. UNODC, which stands for the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, says that this is a term of varied usage. In medicine, it refers to any substance with the potential to prevent or cure disease or enhance physical or mental welfare. In pharmacology, it means any chemical agent that alters the biochemical or physiological processes of tissues or organisms. The article, Illegal Drugs and Their Effect on Your Fertility, says that for both men and women, other side effects of heroin, such as a higher risk for contracting STDs and a reduced immune system, can all lead to infertility. The website Drugs and Mental Health says, over time, your natural stores of serotonin may drop so much that you may never have the same levels as you had before you started using drugs. If lots of serotonin means euphoria, then lack of serotonin means depression. The marijuana abuse website says, in addition, marijuana has the potential to promote cancer of the lungs and other parts of the respiratory tract because it contains irritants and carcinogens up to 70% more than tobacco smoke. The marijuana abuse website says, memory impairment from marijuana use occurs because THC alters how information is processed in the hippocampus, a brain area responsible for memory formation. Serendip Studio says, marijuana impinges on the central nervous system by attaching to brain's neurons and interfering with normal communication between the neurons. These nerves respond by altering their initial behavior. For example, if a nerve is supposed to assist one in retrieving short-term memory, cannabinoid receptors make them do the opposite. So if one has to remember what he did 5 minutes ago after smoking a high dose of marijuana, he has trouble. Psych Central says that in the current investigation, they discovered potential links between memory deficits and use of ecstasy or cocaine. The website Drugs and Mental Health says that the typical age-related pattern of drug use involves experimentation in the late teens and early 20s. So those who experiment before these typical times are the most at risk. The article writes that says that anyone can become addicted at any time of their life, but the adolescent period is perhaps the most dangerous time in a person's life. However, its teens are the most vulnerable, not only to social pressure to experiment with addictive substances, but also more vulnerable to family pressure to keep involved. Their minds and bodies are still developing, so teen drug use can progress into addiction faster than in adults. Also, because of this development period, addiction can wreak more havoc on the teen brain, as well as on the adolescent body. Lindsay Chambers, assistant professor of psychiatry and neurostimulant medication, says, particularly affected brains are responsible for development of addiction are the same ones that are rapidly undergoing change during adolescence. He said, normally these processes cause adolescents to be more driven than children or adults throughout the period, but these conditions also reflect a less mature neurological system of inhibition, which leads to impulsive actions and risky behaviors, including experimentation and abuse of addictive drugs. The article, Drugs and Mental Health, says that Drugs that are psychoactive, such as cannabis, alcohol, ecstasy, and heroin, have the ability to affect your mood. They can arouse certain emotions or dampen down others. This may be why you use them. The changes in your mood or behavior caused by drugs are the result of changes to your brain. This is also the part of you that controls your mental health. It also says that drugs can expose bad feelings you never even knew you had, and that drug use can give you numerous disorders such as anxiety and mood disorders. The article, How Your Substance Abuse May Have Affected Your Child, says that even the most troubling behavior usually has its roots in the child trying to get a basic and healthy need met under difficult circumstances. These behaviors may persist even after the parent stops using drugs and even after the child is in a different living situation. It also says that typically, children of all ages experience confusion, fear, worry, sadness, and anger, but children show and express their feelings differently. It also says that you children are most likely to follow in your footsteps, which means that they could start doing drugs just as you have. The article, Illegal Drugs and Their Effect on Your Fertility, says that use of heroin, for example, can cause a variety of fertility problems. Heroin can cause a disturbance in a woman's menstrual cycle and therefore affect her fertility. In men, use of heroin can lead to impotence. It also says the use of cocaine can also cause fertility problems. In men, the use of cocaine can lead to a low sperm count, and that even marijuana can affect fertility. For women, using marijuana can cause difficulties with ovulation by preventing ovulation or making it more sporadic. Marijuana can make it extremely difficult for a woman to conceive. For men, there is some research that suggests that marijuana can cause a low sperm count as well. The article, The Cost of Addiction on Families, says that other addictions are much more expensive and people are often addicted to multiple things. Estimates suggest that hardcore drug addictions can cost easily half of a person's income at poverty level, and the true cost might be even higher. It also says that there's a reason why addictions are often associated with poverty. Many addictive behaviors begin as a method of escapism and pleasure seeking, and people who suffer financially are often drawn to them as a means to avoid serious problems. Addictions provide instant gratification, which is something sorely lacking in most low-income households that struggle to survive from one paycheck to the next. It also says that the relationship between addiction and poverty travels both ways. However, and addictions can often lead to financial ruin or make maintaining healthy finances impossible. The article, Marijuana Abuse, says THC also disrupts coordination and balance by binding to receptors in the cerebellum and basal ganglia, parts of the brain that regulate balance, posture, and coordination and reaction time. Therefore, learning, doing complicated tasks, participating in athletics, and driving are also affected. The article, Drugs and Sports, says that depressant drugs such as cannabis, alcohol, and opiates slow down your breathing. Cannabis reduces your lung capacity, so it's harder to get the oxygen your muscles need during sports. Opiates such as heroin and codeine slow down your breathing and narrow your airways. This makes it harder to breathe and reduces your breathing at a time when your body needs extra oxygen. Also, it says that stimulant drugs such as cocaine and ecstasy and speed increase your heart rate and put undue stress on your heart. Cocaine can cause heart attacks and abnormal heart rhythm. When you use speed, the lack of blood to your heart can cause angina, severe chest pains. The article, How Addiction Affects You and Your Family, says that ultimately it affects every aspect of their lives, including you, their loved one. Over time, it gradually affects your thinking and behavior until you reach the point where you wonder how you got to be the person you've become. You become preoccupied with the addict's drinking, eating, or using either by obsessing about it and ways to control it, or by trying to numb yourself to it and its effects. It also says that as a result of the denial, which is the hallmark of the disease, you tell yourself it's not that bad, you cover up for the addict, or try to punish them for their behavior. Your life becomes centered around the addiction. Also, that it limits your ability to be emotionally available to your children or other loved ones in your life. They too become casualties of the disease. So basically, drugs can ruin your life and the lives around you. They will take your money, health, and ability to do things you used to be able to do. They will make you do worse in school and affect your children. So in short, don't do drugs.